हरे कृष्ण। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। One time, Prahlad Maharaj, he was thrown by Hiranyakashipu into into the ocean. That time, the ocean comes and then brings back Prahlad. So he feels very fortunate that he got um, association of Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj glorifies the ocean. He says, "Oh no, you are actually very special because Lord is always with you." And but the ocean says, "Lord is always within you because Lord stays in the ocean, right? Yes, milk ocean." And Prahlad says, "No, no, no. The ocean says, no. It is actually you who are very special." So they were having such a uh, discussion, like. And then Prahlad feels very saddened that he could not get the association of the Lord. And he starts meditating, sitting there, and he's meditating on the Lord. And then after some time, like he feels that he is sitting on the lap of the Lord. And he opens his eyes and sees that there is Lord is there. And he immediately gets down from the Lord and offers him obeisances. Lord says, "No, no, no, no worry, you can sit here." And Prahlad is offering some prayers. Then Lord asks him, "My dear Prahlad, no, please ask me something. I want to give you something. Ask something." And Prahlad says, "No, my dear Lord, I don't want anything." He says, "No, no, no, you should ask me something." And he is trying to insist. And Lord says that my only pleasure is that I don't want anything. I just wanted to please my devotees. You ask me something. Then Prahlad says that, "My dear Lord, I don't need anything in this world. And for me, I just saw you, and glorifying you is the only thing I want. And I'm very happy that I am getting opportunity to glorify you." He says, "Prahlad, no, 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 you should still ask." So then what happens is, eh, then he says, "Okay, my dear Lord, give me love for you, prema bhakti." And Lord says, "No, Prahlad, you already have it. So no need of separately asking for it. You already have." And so you asked me something. So that time Prahlad says, "My dear Lord, if I have love, then you will not ask me this question. The point you're asking me this question to ask you something, it proves that I don't have love. That's why you are giving me other things." So this is the point, that we have to, that means so much nishtha is needed. Anya Vilashita Shunyam is not actually very easy. We should really have that strong nishtha where we are not aspiring for anything other than that love for Krishna. So if Krishna comes, and no, it's such a tempting, ask anything in this world. He says, "No, no, no, I don't want anything. I just want love for you." And the problem here is that we don't have that experience of that love. So uh, we get deviated very easily if because of not having that experience. Like we should know what is this love exactly. Like we know the story of Durvas Muni coming to Vrindavan. He actually very interesting personality in Vedic history, because he always goes everywhere and he tests people whether they are following the standards or what. So what happens is he comes to Vrindavan and he sees the gopis are playing, and he asks that I am hungry. And then they become very scared. Then he says, "Okay, we'll go home and get you something." He says, no, 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 no. I don't have that much time. I want to eat now only. Then they all look at Srimati Radharani. And then Radharani says, no worries. So she goes to she's just on the bank of Yamuna. Immediately she takes some mud from there and takes some water from Yamuna river, make some balls, and take some leaf plate and give it to gopis. They go and give it to Durvasamani. So now Durvasamani, he asked, are you sure that uh, I'll be happy with this? And they said, no, no problem, you can eat. And then he says that he says that if I don't like it, then you should blame yourself. It's not me. So, are you sure I like it? And because if I don't like it, then blame yourself. And he says, no, no, you try it. And as soon as he takes in his hand and he becomes very blissful and he eats everything. He feels a little ashamed also, but he took everything and ate everything. And he says, I never ate something very delicious like this. And then he gives blessings to Radharani. From now onwards, whatever you cook will be nectar. And then he gives another blessing that uh, this is that anybody who takes this, he will always remain healthy. It's nectar, and everybody who takes it, he will also remain healthy. So these are the two blessings. They will never become sick. So these two blessings, then Radharani gets. They show them. I heard this. Then she want her to cook for Krishna every day. But now, what is very important point I want to tell here is why were these clay pieces that Srimad Radharani made are so delicious, even though it is clay only, right? Why it is so delicious? The reason is love, because she loves everything that she does is permeated with love. So the taste in this life is because of love only. When there is no love, everything is tasteless in this world. So this is actually what I'll discuss today. There is said that if somebody cooks without any love, it will not give a good health. So the bottom line is that when there is love, then all problems are resolved. That is the first thing. This is the very important thing. Love gives us taste. Love, in essence, love is the essence of taste, the quintessence of taste. The love eliminates diseases. Love eliminates all problems. All our problems, all our diseases, all our pains, and all kinds of problems are the result of this lack of love only. We should understand. So it is very important that the only end in itself, the real goal of all our aspirations, all our efforts, is to gain this infinite love. And what is love? Now the payment is very big. That's the main problem here, because we have to pay a price for this love. Now, because love is always self sacrifice, love is self denial, selflessness, and we are not ready for it. So, what we do, we often try to buy a fake love instead of real love. Like we have fake jewelry. Why do people go for fake jewelry? There is 1 gram gold jewelry, they call it, rolled gold, they call it. Why they go for that? Because they feel that they cannot have enough strength, they cannot afford for this real gold to buy. So that's why they go for the in fake one. Similarly, we are not ready to pay the price we need to pay for that real love, because the price of this love is very, very precious thing. And fortunately, that solves all the problems also. Hmm. Because it is very valuable, we had to pay for it. Then her price is also not small. We must be prepared to pay for it. If we really want to solve all problems, then if I am honest person, I must be prepared to pay for this price. So in fact, the price is not big also in general. The price is needed, not that I have to put from my pocket, but there is something we should give from our hearts. It is necessary to abandon exploitation and be prepared to give, to be ready to self sacrifice. And this is a gradual process. Mm, and and it is stretched over a time. So man is gradually preparing his heart in this. And our sadhana, very important point, please listen. Our sadhana comes down to this, that we have to gradually prepare our heart so that the love can come into it. So preparing our heart for this, and our sadhana comes down. So our spiritual practices is a process of preparing the heart for descent of love, right? So the gradual process, this is a very, and cleansing the heart when we are ready to withstand this true love. So material world, under the love, or the guise of love, it's all lust only. It's a thirst for pleasure and a selfish feeling that happens here. So here uh, we need to understand very well that selfish feeling is taken as love only. The thirst for pleasure gives rise to all problems. Now, some very interesting things will, like Prabhuji was telling in the previous session. So, some points I want to add. Just like love, or the desire to give, the ability to give resolves all our problems, and the desire to take gives rise to all problems. If you want to give, all the problems are solved. If you want to take, we create all problems. We'll see how. Because there are six main problems only. So, what are the six main problems? Lust, anger, greed, pride, anger, envy, illusion. So, everything arises. So, actually, lust is the root of all these things. A thirst for pleasure, a thirst to take. And when something prevents us from getting what I want, then comes anger, right? We know. But now, when a person receives what he wants, uh, but if he receives very little, he will become greedy. And because no matter how much I get, it is not enough only. So man always remains unsatisfied. Therefore, greed arises inevitably. Now, a person can never stop at anything. He has no break only. So accordingly, a person is overcome by greed. Then greed overshadows the man. Illusion is a state when the mind is darkened and a person is ready to do anything for the sake of acquiring what he wants. So this is called moha, illusion. Now, next interesting thing, when a person receives all this, what kind of feeling arises to a person, in a person's heart when he enjoys something? Pride comes. Like say, if I am going in a big car, what happens? Ah, see, all these people, they are going on bike and small car. I am going in a big car. So the pride comes. The man is trying to expand himself in this way. This is a pride, an attempt to show everyone. Watch how I am enjoying. Big car, big dress, very costly jewelries, and now I have a big house. The person cannot enjoy himself because these pleasures are quite boring in themselves. What happens is pleasure becomes full when everyone else see how I am enjoying. So pleasure comes when others are seeing me enjoying, that is more pleasurable. So when I see how others are enjoying, what is arising in my heart is envy, and that is everything in the end. Like it's everything comes from one root only. There is one root of it, and envy is the highest achievement of person oriented to pleasure in this world. So like when we are envied, it also gives us great pleasure. Then we feel that, oh, I have achieved something, because these pleasures are quite boring. But this pleasure becomes complete when everyone sees. Like there is a Sufi parable. Once upon a time, there was a rich Sufi person, and a beggar comes to him. This beggar looks. He walked and he saw this Sufi. He was such a rich person. He goes to the market and he start telling to everyone. He says, "Oh, He is a very, very rich person. Probably he must be the most fallen also. So then naturally his well-wishers go and inform this rich person that, okay, see now uh, this person is no, is envious of you, blaspheming you like this, is talking about your guilt. Then this rich Sufi person, he says, oh, today I have the happiest day because I have a lot of luxury, but I didn't have the last one. I want the envious people also who are envious of me. Now my luxury has become complete. So there is a man who is envious of me. So this is the point that all these are false things, some kinds of false, funny things that arise in our heart in response to our desire to enjoy, and these are called anarthas. And what we exactly need is that love we need. So when Prahlad was asked by the Lord, he was tempted by the Lord, and Prahlad said, and says, "My dear Lord, if I have love, why will you give me all these things? Because I don't have love, that's why you are tempting." So anyway, the point here is how Dhruv Maharaj, he also did not get tempted while he is going. He saw all these heavenly plans in between. He said, no, I'm okay, like that. And we'll see the descendants of Dhruv Maharaj. Suta Goswami continued to speak to all the rishis headed by Savanaka, said, after hearing Maitreya Rishi describe Dhruv Maharaj's descent to Lord Vishnu's abode, Vidra become very much enlightened in devotional emotion, and he inquired from Maitreya as follows. Prabhupada writes, as evidence in the topics between Vidura and Maitreya, the activities of Supreme Personality of God and devotees are so fascinating that neither the devotee who is describing them nor the devotee who is hearing is at all fatigued by the inquiries and answers. They are deriving so much satisfaction in the heart. That's the reason how it happens. It does not happen uh, mechanically. There should be the taste is because of their heart is pure. That's why they have the taste. If we also renounce the pleasure of this world, we can also experience taste like what Vidra is experiencing. So this is very much possible. This is very much possible. Now we'll see that transcendental subject is so nice that no one becomes tired of hearing or speaking. Others who are not devotees may think, how can people devote so much time simply to talk of God? But devotees are never satisfied or satiated in hearing and speaking about Supreme Lord or about his devotees. The more they hear and talk, the more they become enthusiastic to hear. The chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is simply the repetition of three words, Hare Krishna and Ram, but still devotees can go on chanting this Hare Krishna 24 hours a day without feeling fatigue. At least today we should do some chanting today, Ekadasi. At least today we should uh, try for this repetition. Whole day we cannot do, but some part of the day we should do. So devotees are not tired hearing about Krishna. Let's see what is the next instruction he is giving. Vidra inquired from Maitra, O greatly advanced devotee, who are the Prachetas? To which family did they belong? Whose sons are they? And where did they perform this great sacrifice? The great says Narada sing in the previous chapter that the three verses in the sacrificial arena of Prachetas gave another impetus to Vidura to inquire, Vidura to ask further questions. So Narada is not immediately glorifying Dhruva Maharaj. He is waiting till Prachetas come. So 32,000 years only Dhruva Maharaj ruled. After that his descendants, Vijitashva. Then comes in that line we have Prachini Barhesh. Then comes Prachetas. Like that. So Vidra continued, I know that the great sage Narada is the greatest of all devotees. He has compiled the Pancharatrika processes of devotional service and has directly met the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now here he is glorifying Narada Muni. There are two different ways of approaching Supreme Lord. One is called Bhagavat Marg or the way of Srimad Bhagavatam, other is called Pancharatrika Vidhi. Pancharatrika Vidhi is method of temple worship, and Bhagavad Vidhi is a system of 9 processes which begins with hearing and chanting. The Krishna conscious moon accepts both processes simultaneously and thus enables one to make steady progress on the path of the realization of the Supreme Lord. So Pancharatra Vidhi was introduced by sage Narada. Actually, all the Pancharatras they all comes from Lord Shiva only. Conversation between Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati. While all the Prachetas were executing religious rituals and sacrificial ceremonies and thus worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his satisfaction, the great sage Narada described the transcendental qualities of Dhruva Maharaj. So he is glorifying in front of them. Why he is glorifying? Two things are there, because Prachetas will identify themselves with Dhruva also, because he is their own ancestor. That will help them more. So Narada is always glorifying the Lord. In this verse, we see that not only does he glorify the Lord, but he also likes to glorify the devotees of Lord. So the Narada's mission is to broadcast devotional service to the Lord. For this purpose, he has compiled Narada Pancharatra, a dictionary of devotional, directory of devotional service, so that devotees can always take information about how to execute devotional service and thus engage 24 hours a day in performing sacrifice for the pleasure of Supreme Lord. So these things are possible only when there is love for the Lord. 24/7 there is love, full love. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has created 4 orders of life: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and Pancharatra. It is clearly described how each of the social orders can please the Lord. Anybody can please, not that only Brahmanas. Swe swe karman abhirata samsiddhim labate naraha. So this is from Bhagavad Gita. By executing one's prescribed duty, one can please the Supreme Lord. So 1.2.13 also. Swanishtitastha dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshnam. So dharma is to please the Supreme Lord. So the Prachetas were performing sacrifice according to this direction. Narada was satisfied and he wanted to glorify Dhruva Maharaj for them. So it is relevant because it is their ancestors. That's why. My dear Brahmana, how did Narada Muni glorify the Supreme Lord when past times? And okay, this shloka is telling not only Lord, glorification of Lord, of devotees is also important. Not only just Lord, that is also important. And my dear Brahmana, how did Narada Muni glorify the Supreme Lord and what pastimes were described in the meeting? I am very eager to hear them. Kindly explain. So, Prabhupada writing Srimad Bhagavatam is the record of Bhagavad Katha topics about the pastimes of Lord. What Vidura was anxious to hear from Maitreya, we can also hear 5000 years later, provided we are very eager. And the great sage Maitreya replied, My dear Vidura, when Maharaj Dhruva departed for the forest, his son Utkala did not desire to accept the opulent throne of his father, which was meant for the ruler of all lands of this planet. So Utkala was more advanced. As soon as he came, he went to the forest. Means he happily departed. When Dhruva left, Utkala also said, okay, fine with me. he also did not like it. So for this, from his very birth, Utkala was fully satisfied and unattached to the world. He was equipoised, for he could see everything resting in the super soul, and super soul present in everyone's heart. So this is Prabhupada is writing the symptoms and characters of Utkala, the son of Maharaj Dhruva, and those of Mahabhagavata, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 6.30. Yomam pashyati sarvatra, sarvatra chaimai pashyati. A highly advanced devotee sees Supreme Lord everywhere, and he also sees everything resting in the Supreme. It is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Ma tam maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. Lord Krishna is spread all over the universe in his impersonal feature. Everything is resting on him, but that does not mean that everything is he himself. A highly advanced Mahabhagavata devotee sees the spirit soul. So here the qualities of Mahabharata explained, but these are very so Utkala is Mahabhagavata. So all his qualities are symptoms are given. Then he says, by expansion of his knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, he had already attained liberation from bondage of the body. This liberation is known as nirvana. He was situated in transcendental bliss and he continued always in that blissful existence which expanded more and more. This was possible for him by continual practice of bhakti yoga, which is compared to fire because it burns away all dirty material things. He was always situated in his constitutional position of self realization, and he could not see anything but the Supreme Lord and himself engaged in discharging devotional service. Such a fortunate stage for Utkala. So these are his qualities, and this is what he achieved. And Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kamshati. Prabhupada writes this in the purport. So this is what we all have to achieve one day, where we are not interested in anything this material, unnecessarily wasting our time. We should be careful for whom we are giving our time. If we are giving time to Bhagavatam, then this realization will come very fast. With whom we are spending time. We may be doing devotional service, but there will be something we are spending time. And our greatest enemy is our mind only. We take association of our mind so much. We try to serve the mind. We try to fulfill all the desires of mind. And he is the greatest non-devotee. And we take his association whole day. So we end up in troubling ourselves. So better is we always hear, read, chant, engage in Krishna conscious activities so that we don't take association of non-devotees. And this is nice instruction. So how Utkala's qualities are mentioned, and Prabhupada is writing that one must be transcendentally situated, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. And he says that Cheto Darpan Marjanam also he writes, because that by chanting the holy name one can attain the perfection of nirvana. The more one makes advancement devotional service, the more one becomes detached from material opulence and material activity. This is the advantage. Param drishtva nivartante. So one will not feel any of this taste here. The devotee is always thinking of Supreme Person at every step of his life. Every conditioned soul is full of reactions of his past lives, but all dirty things are immediately burned to ashes if you can simply execute devotional service. Sarvopadi Vinamuktam. And then the next shloka, Maitreya is continuing. He says about Utkala. Appear to the less intelligent persons as on the road to be foolish, blind, dumb, deaf, and mad, although actually he is not so. He remained like fire covered with ashes without blazing fire. So, in order to avoid contradictions, botherations, and unfavorable situations created by materialistic persons, a great saintly person like Jadabharata or Utkala remains silent. The less intelligent consider such silence to be mad, deaf, or dumb. Actually, an advanced devotee avoids speaking with persons who are not in devotional life. But to those who are in devotional life, He speaks in friendship, and he speaks to the innocent for their enlightenment. So, for all practical purpose, the whole world is full of non-devotees, and so one kind of very advanced devotees avoid them by appearing before them as deaf and dumb. Such an advanced devotee is called Bhajananandis. Those who are Goshtyanandis, however, preach to increase the number of devotees. But even such people also avoid opposing elements who are unfavorably disposed towards spiritual life. Very nice points Prabhupada is mentioning. How we have to avoid actually. We have to also be very limited. Only our preaching and ourselves. We need not have unnecessarily friends and all because they are not devotees. Just restrict ourselves to our preaching and associating with seniors. That's all. For this reason, the ministers and all elder members of family thought Utkala to be without intelligence and in fact mad. Thus, his younger brother, Vatsara, the son of uh, Bharmi, was elevated to royal throne and he became the king of the world. So there was monarchy, but it was not at all autocracy also. Where there are senior family members, ministers who could make changes and elect the proper person to the throne. Although the throne could be occupied only by royal family. So in modern days also, wherever there is monarchy, sometimes the ministers and elder members of the family select one member from the royal family to occupy the throne in preference to another. So there is monarchy also, but that is not autocracy. Autocracy is not there. So King Vatsara had a very dear wife whose name was Sarvish, uh, Swarviti, and she gave birth to six sons named Pushparna, Tingamuk, Tingmuketu, Isha, Urja, Vasu, and Jaya. And Vatsara's wife is mentioned here as Ishtha, which means worshipable. In other words, it appears that Vatsara's wife had all good qualities. For example, she was very faithful and obedient and affectionate to her husband. She had all good qualities for managing household affairs. If both husband and wife are endowed with good qualities and live peacefully, the nice children take birth and the whole family is happy and prosperous. People have questions why all the instructions are why wife only, why not for the men? Whole Shastra is telling why should be like this, why should be like this, why not to the husband? All other instructions, na, they're all for husband only. Go to the forest, renounce this world, be detached. All instructions are for husband. Only once in a while it is given to the wife. So their instructions are husband, all 90%. Only 10% are for women. That's all. And for her, these are the simple things. Faithful, obedient, affectionate, manage household. And she will get all equal benefit of husband. Husband is doing all austerities, tapasyas, and my wife is faithfully serving. She is getting full benefit, so no problem separately. Pushparna had two wives named Prabha and Dosha. Prabha had three sons named Patra, Madhyadinam, and Shama. So now only the names will come one after another. And Dosha had three sons, Pradosha, Nishtha, and Vyuta. Vyuta's wife was named Pushkarini. She gave birth to a very powerful son named Sarvateja. Sarvateja's wife Akuti gave birth to a son named Chakshusha, who became the sixth Manu at the end of the Manu millennium. Navadvala, the wife of Chakshusha Manu, gave the following faultless sons: Puru, Kushta, Trita, Dhyuma, Satyavyani, Rata, Vrata, Anishtoma, Atitara, Pradyumna, Shibi, and Ulmukha. So this is the names of all these descendants. They are very pious people, that's why their names are mentioned. The 12 sons Utkala begets the 12th of the 12 sons, Utkala begets six in his wife Pushkarini. They were all very good sons, and their names were Anga, Sumana, Khyati, Krutu, Angira, and Gaya. Now the story continues here. Actually, all the list is given, and suddenly in between, Suta Goswami stops, or Sukadeva Goswami stops. Where he stops? When a great devotee or Supreme Lord appears in the family. Till that time, he'll continue all the names. Suddenly, at one point, just wait, wait, wait. Here, na the Supreme Lord appeared. Here, na the great devotee appeared. So when he was describing the pastime, the descendants of Swayambhu Manu, when Dhruva story came, he stopped. He said, "Oh, great devotee." And now here also Utkala story came. Then he explained about two, three shlokas about him. And then other people is just reading the names. And now here he is against topic. He's going to stop. The wife, the wife of Anga Sunita gave birth to a son named Vena, who was very crooked. The saintly king Anga was very disappointed with Vena's bad character and he left kingdom went to the forest. So, and my dear Vidra, when great sage curse, their words were as invincible as a thunderbolt. Thus, when they cursed King Vena out of anger, he died. After his death, since there was no king, all the roles and thieves flourished the kingdom, becoming unregulated, and all the citizens suffered greatly. On seeing this, the great sages took the right hand of Vena as a churning rock, and as a result of their churning, Lord Vishnu in his partial represented made his advent as King Prithu, the original emperor of the world. This is how where he is going to pass. He is going to tell. This is the monarchy is better than democracy because if monarchy is very strong and regulative principles within the kingdom are upheld very nicely. Even 100 years ago in the state of Kashmir, India, the king was so strong that if a thief was arrested in his kingdom and brought before him, the king would immediately chop off the hand of the thief. As a result of this severe punishment, there was practically no theft cases within the kingdom. Even if someone left something on the street, nobody would touch it. The rule was that the things can be taken away only by the proprietor and that no one else would touch them. In the so-called democracy, wherever there is theft case, the police come and take note of the case, but the generally thief is never caught, nor is any punishment offered to him. As a result of incapable of government at the present moment, thieves, rogues, and cheaters are very prominent all over the world. Okay, so we will continue our discussion tomorrow. Any questions, comments? I wish all of you happy Ekadasi. Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna. We end here.